something right after that.
Oh, no.
It's a really big link.
Yes, click on it.
Oh, look, it's another arm.
The internet is for porn.
What?
That's not safe for work.
Oh, it's winter time. Oh, no. That's
Tiff,
Halloween.
did you not know that internet is for porn?
He said it was only for porn. I thought it was for so
Well,
much.
yeah.
The
I thought it was for
internet
so much
is for
more.
porn.
I've been only using it for porn this whole time. That's it. I didn't know there was other stuff out there.
So there's a whole word out there for not porn stuff.
What? Was it the clip from Family Guy? When Quagmire learns about porn on the internet?
I have no idea. I don't watch Family Guy.
Oh my goodness, I will find it.
I haven't watched Family Guy in a while.
Oh, I love Family Guy.
I was like watching it like pretty religiously for a while, but then I just kind of got a little bit burnt out. I might go back to it like eventually, but sometimes you just get kind of burnt out.
There you go. That's what we all need in our life. That picture right there.
That's... Oh, jeez.
I was gonna learn a new formula.
It's like that guy in Lady in the Water where he only like trains like one side of his body.
Yes. Did I change my... Let's see. 6th level... Am I 6th level alchemist now? Yes, I am. 6th level...
Alright, so are we ready to go? I'll go to do the recap. Make it quick. Craig sent a photo.
Look at that pretty picture.
It's lovely.
Love that large display screen.
You know, sometimes too much is too much. That over large coaster that you have.
Internet is for porn.
Alright, so last time on D&D, we were in a cave with a dragon and a bunch of shades and a fire elemental. You know, what could go wrong? Laura and Canali, they start fighting with the dragon, so most of us pretty much figure let's help the dragon kill the shades because the shades are jerks, except for Io, who's really, really nice. Io kind of takes a step back and kind of heals up because Laura had drained his life, so he had like no health. Jessica's killing Canale by mind thrusting him. Io gives her... It does. Io gives her, a big thumbs up and lets her mind thrust him again right away.
Yeah.
Because he's a nice guy like that.
How hard did she mind thrust him?
It was pretty hard. I had 2 mind thrusts and he was almost dead. And so Canale's almost dead. The Duchesne or that douchey shade throws some sort of cloud of darkness that Canale runs into to hide. Io goes chasing after him to see if he could finish him off, but he disappears into the darkness that not even Io can see with his shade vision. So after, playing with himself in the darkness for a while...
Why are we getting feedback?
I don't know. Is it me? I'm muted. Anyway.
Is it Craig?
I don't know, maybe it is.
No, I'm like triple muted.
So while I was in the darkness, something happens to the dragon. It goes berserk and starts attacking everybody, and not just the shades. So now we pretty much have to fight the dragon and help Laura and Kanali, because we don't want to die to the dragon. But Jessica has other plans. She decides to keep attacking Kanali once he shows up again. Kanali goes down for the count. What else? Jessica went toe to toe with the dragon for a while. She put up a barrier of ice or a dome or a cone or something along those lines to stop one of the dragon's attacks, which was pretty impressive. Io comes back and he jumps over the dragon and attacks it with his spear. The dragon decides to return the favor by almost killing Io. He had like 1 hit point of health left. Laura heals Io to help out. Kan helps out too and throws the healing bomb on Io, but he also heals the dragon at the same time, which is big help. The dragon returns the favor by killing Kan, poor Kan. So Io's almost dead, Kan's dead. Jessica, I believe, manages to finish off the dragon with another mind thrust or something of that nature. Jester spends a lot of his time talking to the fire elemental. I think he gets trapped in some sort of barrier after banishing the fire elemental. I think he rolled like a nat 20 on his save, and he managed to completely negate the barrier, which was pretty awesome. After the dragon goes down, one of the shades immediately takes this gem or something from the dragon and it turns into the Godforged weapon. He hands it to Lore, who immediately asks Io what the Mind Mage's name was, which was referring to Jessica. Io doesn't want to name her because he knows what the sword does and doesn't want her to die. He throws out Jester's name on a whim, but Lore isn't really fooled by that. And he asks Io for the name again. Io says Jessica with an I instead of an A to see if it'll fool the sword into not killing her. But the sword kills her anyway. And we're like, crap, she died. And then all of a sudden, this white beam, pure white light comes out of nowhere, heals Kan and Jessica back to full health. Jester tries to make a lunge for the Godforged weapon before Laura can get it back. Unfortunately, Laura was too fast and he took the sword and disappeared. So they got the You Die sword, so that's really nice for us. Then we get teleported to our favorite castle, Io, and the other dimensional realm place. So that's where we left off. If I missed anything, I think that's the major highlights.
I punched a hole in the wall.
Oh yeah, Kan punched a hole in the wall. So that's a thing.
Cannonball!
Yes. That is my name.
I think you got everything right except the last part. So Jester was diving out to try and grab the sword after it was thrown from Lore. That was Jester tried to dive and catch it as it was flying into Jessica, and Jester wasn't able to reflex into grabbing the sword as it was flying, and the sword buried itself in Jester's heart, and then she exploded into the ashes, and that's when that white crazy being appeared, and the white crazy being snapped her back to life, resurrected her, and then took the sword and snapped it over its knee, and then reformed it into a crystal, and then the crystal disappeared. And then the white creature disappeared, and you guys ended up in Caso di Io in a circle looking around at each other. She also had resurrected Kayan.
I leveled up.
And you got a third arm or something.
And then there was a cannonball.
How are you, Chad? You look particularly gleeful.
I'm great.
I love you, Chad.
I love you.
Do you want a glass of wine? I have wine.
Oh God, I'm dead.
But okay, so our party begins this session standing in around a circle in the middle of the room of Castle Io.
It's a nice homey place. Makes you feel right at home.
So I just look around the ground of where we're standing, and does it look exactly the same as like last time we were here?
It does. It looks just as the picture. It's overgrown with greenery. The door's shut up there at the front. The three statues of the ladies, two of them holding the swords. The one above the door with her arms spread out. The areas inside it looks like it's like overgrown, like it hasn't been touched in forever. And the windows seem to be showing daylight as that light pours in through the windows and is the only light in the room, which of course makes the Mr. Shade Io so very happy with life.
Boo, lights, light bad. Well, I guess if it worked out the last time, we just go out the way we came in last time. We should be back in Freeport, which may or may not be a good thing, since how we left it the last time. Well, there's two Jessica's, and that statue looks a whole lot like Jessica. What a resemblance. And there was, we never did get around to, finding the witch and killing the witch, unless the witch was the dragon. So that whole plague thing still might be an issue. Kind of failed on that point of the dragon and the lady weren't the same person.
The rest of the party stares at each other as Io rambles incoherently about going back into the town and wondering if the witch is still there and the plague is still going on and yada yada, as the other party members stare at each other. And both Jesse and Kayan had just had a very real brush with death.
I speak up as I was talking about going back into town. I go, we can go into town. Kayan have friends there.
Kayan has friends everywhere. Did you make any friends on the other side?
Other side of where?
When you died. I has a lot of friends on the other side.
Kayan not die. Kayan here.
You were
Yeah, what
dead.
are you talking about?
Well, Kayan got splat by the dragon, and then you got, that, I don't know if you remember, but the whole sword piercing you and you disintegrated into like a bazillion pieces. I don't know if you look kind of painful. I don't know if you remember that. And then the whole white light bringing you back from being vaporized.
Kane was in cave. Kane now in another cave.
How much of that do I remember?
That is a good question.
I gasp and grab my chest, and then I look over at Kay and I'm like, no, I really think something did happen.
Like what?
Well, I think I died.
You died? But you here?
Well, obviously I came back. I
That
just
makes more
kind of
sense.
like, I don't know how, but apparently something happened.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't believe me, just ask Chester. He saw it too. So, I mean, if both of us agree that that's, you died and you came back, it may not possibly be wrong.
I look over at Jester and I'm like to like confirm this, and then I see him doing something. I don't know what are you doing?
Top like statue.
This is why we can't have nice things. I would take like a couple steps back away from Chester just in case like the statue just like angers some deity and he's about ready to get struck down by fiery vengeance for defiling the sacred place.
Jester, what are you doing?
Waiting to see if it worked.
So Jester is attempting to push the statue off the pedestal.
Yup.
As he attempts to do that, his 13th strength check adjusted does not push the statue off. The statue is made out of pure marble and incredibly heavy. But you do notice as you're pushing it that the statue seems to be like incredibly well made.
I attack the darkness.
They think Io is the crazy one. Chester's the one attacking the statue.
You can do something. So I take a swing at the statue that refuses to move, and I pump all my eldritch energy into it.
Okay. So first you attack it like with a melee attack, and then you Eldritch Blast it?
It's channeled through my punch.
Oh.
So I guess actually, like, what would it be? Oh, you motherfucker. So 4 damage with my fist, 10 damage with the Eldritch energy going through it. And I punch that stone bitch in the leg.
Okay, so you punch the statue in the leg, and the left leg of the statue explodes as shrapnel of marble goes everywhere at a large powder of smoke explodes into the room.
And then I push it.
Okay, so you knock over the statue. It falls to the ground. Boom. The statue is now in pieces over on this area in the ground.
Oh, sure. The one time I don't want to hit.
Shit, so...
Okay, you want to go, or do you want to fight? Or just got out of the fight. I'll be more than happy to attack you back.
Okay, so Jester throws an Eldritch Blast directly at Io's chest, and it catches him square and knocks him onto his ass as smoldering singe comes off of his shadowy wisps.
Out of game, I seriously figured that was going to miss since everything else seems to.
Real quick. Just a second here. I want to like cast a ectoplasmic cocoon on Jester. It doesn't
Doesn't sound painful enough. I have a stick with a pointy end that would do a whole lot more.
No. And that it's a reflex. So let me see what is.
Tonight on D&D, the party kills each other.
It's a reflex of 18, but let me see if how many PowerPoints I want to put on.
But 2 out of the 3 statues survive.
It's okay, I know Kane has Io's back.
Kane's just gonna run away. His family's like just tearing themselves apart. Kane just wants everyone to get along, and you guys are trying to murder each other.
I'm just gonna add 6 extras, so that'll add 3 more to the DC. So he has to. That's a reflex save of
And just for
DC 21.
Just for context, the pot shot that was supposed to miss came after the "this is why we can't have nice things."
Yeah, I'm just trying to stop carnage.
Carnage? What carnage? There's gonna be no carnage. It might be a friendly strike of retribution,
Friendly strike of retribution.
Like a fight between...
Okay, but right now Jester needs to do a reflex save.
Oh, right, sorry.
21 is the DC.
No.
Okay, let me read it.
You stuck!
You draw writhing strands of ectoplasm from the astral plane that wrap up the subject like a mummy. The subject can still breathe, but is otherwise helpless, unable to see outside the cocoon, speak, or take any physical actions. The subject's nostrils are clear. Air passes through the cocoon normally. The subject can execute purely mental actions, such as manifesting powers or casting spells with no verbal, somatic, or material components. Cutting or damaging the cocoon can free a victim. The cocoon has hardness 8 and 20 hit points. Teleportation and other forms of travel provide a means of escape, but the cocoon extends into the ethereal plane, blocking ethereal travel.
Ah,
And it lasts 1 round. So it's just, I'm just doing this to kind of.
I look over at Jessica and I kind of hold my spear up and kind of like point to Jester, like asking for permission. See if I can
No, we're
take a
stopping this now.
But what about my turn?
No, there's no turns.
Mom.
Why not?
Retaliation is not something that we should be doing.
That little cocoon thing doesn't even
No,
hurt. I mean,
no.
doesn't even
It-
tickle
it-
him.
This is not about pain. It's about stopping it. We need to figure out what happened, and then we need to figure out why in the hell he just started. Well, first of all, started like attacking that statue and pushing it over, and then attacking you. So we need to figure out what's happening.
Can I hear all of this? I missed that part of the description. I can't see out, but
It
can I hear
doesn't.
what's...
Yeah, it doesn't say that you can't hear.
Okay.
All it says is that you are unable to see outside the cocoon, speak, or take any physical actions.
Yeah.
Does Eldritch Blast require a somatic?
I honestly don't know.
It should
I
say
can't find
in
it
your.
in the description.
If it's not there, then no.
No, it'll tell us if it's a ranged touch attack. Then it requires just will, essentially.
Well, can he move to aim the attack? I mean, if he's locked in a cocoon, he can't raise his arm.
Yeah,
I can't.
that
I'm
would
touching what I need to attack if that's the case.
He'd be attacking himself. I Eldritch Blast myself.
Actually?
Dear God.
The DM goes back on mute.
So what would... I'm looking for an active Fey Rage here. What would be the check for that?
To do what?
To set off the verb and Super Saiyan my way out of this.
Oh, to hold on.
Were we doing spellcraft for that? Yes.
Yeah, do a spellcraft check. Chris, your spell, does it have like a hardness to break it, or was?
Yeah, I said it has a hardness 8 and 20 hit points.
Okay. So essentially, you see Jester inside of this goo. Like, his body becomes like very like translucent almost, as if it just looks like a figure of pure energy, kind of like you've seen Jessie look like when she summons the full power of her like willpower, we'll say, and she turns into green superpower. Jester just looks like an outline of pure energy, except it looks like kind of like around you in this instance, like the extremely green floral pattern. So he looks like a floral energy being, and the goo just shatters around him, and he lets out a primal scream.
Yeah, that works.
Glass cage of emotion.
And I look at. Would there have been any indication where that came from?
No, because it's psionics.
Okay, that's what I thought. So I stand there seething and angry, and the tattoos on my arms and what you can see of my chest are like glowing bright green. And for good measure, I light up my hand with the Eldritch Fire.
I kind of like hold my hands out to like everybody, just kind of like this, and I just kind of just scream at everybody to just stop. We need to like talk this through right now.
I don't
Or-
listen to corpses. You died. I watched you disintegrate into a pile of ashes in front of me.
Yeah, and I don't know what happened after that, and I'd like to figure this out too. But rather than just like destroying stuff and attacking us, let's talk this through and figure out what's going on, rather than just reacting to everything. Why do I always have to like deal with you guys doing this to each other? And I just kind of like I'm like, fine, just kill each other, and I just turn around and like
Okay.
walk away from everybody.
It's like, can we? Can we really?
I start walking for the door, and I stop at the door like, you can't win this.
I'm not trying to win shit. I'm just been trying to like keep my friends that I met safe, and this is all I've ended up doing.
No, I mean, to keeping your friends safe. That is something you will never win in this.
Oh, what am
walk
I gonna
out the
do? I make a gesture at Jester.
Kayan stands just staring at what's happening. Just
And then I also like turn around and I point at Io and I go, and you're not any better.
I'm not even have ever attacked anybody
I
without
hold up my
confrontation.
finger and I'm like, stop making excuses.
Jesus, I've never attacked anybody. Jester's attacked me multiple times without provocation. So I don't know who you're pointing fingers at, but I'm not the one starting crap all the time.
I don't care who starts stuff, but when you ask to continue it, that is what pisses me off. Rather than trying to finish the situation. We're fighting more within our group than we are like with all the shit that's going on. A lot of stuff has happened. It's fucking crazy. And this is what we're dealing with, is us fighting with each other.
I mean, I agree. I think attacking your party members is ridiculous. That's why I'm trying to end it.
Yeah,
Once and for all.
yeah,
There's
that's not
obviously-
helping. That is not helping.
There's obviously one problem here, and I aim to deal with it sooner or later. Because one
Okay.
person does not like to play nice with others.
Killing is not always the right answer.
I think I've been pretty patient. If I ever attacked Jester, he would certainly not hesitate to return the kindness.
Continuous excuses. And
Not
I just
excuses.
I hold up my hand and I'm like, yes, it is, because you are constantly saying something as soon as I say something. And I just and I point and I'm like, yeah, just no. And then I walk out the front door.
I follow Jesse out, and I kind of look back to Io, because I'm assuming he's still standing there after his verbal beatdown that he just received. I go, K and B with friend that got you armor in town. You need him. And follow Jesse out.
Yeah, I kind of just kind of I kind of and just kind of mumble a thanks and just kind of walk back towards town.
So if I understand, did Jester leave the building, or he's still here with Io? They just walk out and left us alone, or did he take off too?
Alright, so I've got Jesse leaving the building, storming out. I got Kayan leaving after Jesse, so Kayan. I didn't catch if Jester actually left or if he was standing off to the side, and then didn't know what I was doing.
I'm pretty sure Jester was the first one to leave.
Oh yeah, I'm long gone.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. So where was
Jester
Jester
left.
going?
Out of game, I'm heading to the Watsy.
Okay.
That direction. Not that there's anybody that's trustworthy there, but fuck it.
There's nice hookers there, and people that love KN.
So basically the same thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
It's the difference of I love KN and I love KN long time.
It's a difference of paying gold and not paying gold.
Or a discount.
Exactly.
Alright, so you guys are walking outside of the building. Kane's chasing after Jesse, and Jester's already gone. Aside from the storm, it's completely quiet out. Jester, roll a spot check.
I've got maps. It's taking up my space. I don't know how big the cathedral yard is. Don't know if they might spot me walking off in this direction or not.
If they're looking, spot check. So Jester's going south towards the Dragon Beach, and we'll see if you see him. DC 15, except for Kane, because Kane has no night vision. So we'll say DC 18.
I got low light vision. You leave me alone.
Oh yeah, that's right. I thought you were a lowly human.
Kane, world largest half elf. No, but in all honesty, I wouldn't be looking down that way.
Okay.
Yeah, out. I'm trying to head back to the armor smith.
Oh, okay. So you're going towards the market.
I am. Yeah, that's my goal. I don't know if like Chris waited outside to see what happened, but from me telling Io inside the building where I was going to be, I'm just going towards that place. I don't even know if she stopped outside or if she was continuing walking, but I was just going to start walking.
Oh yeah, I was walking towards town.
Okay.
Yeah, I just kind of figured you were walking with me.
Yeah, then I'm following her.
Okay.
If she is heading towards the market, I'm going with her then. Not splitting the party too much this time. Only in 3 places.
So where's Io going?
After everybody leaves, just kind of like chills in the castle of Io for moments of peace and quiet. He just breathes like a sigh of relief, and then he starts following, Can toward the marketplace because I might want to go shopping for things.
Yeah, actually go shopping this time instead of cowering in a fucking corner.
I was talking to the people in the void and got some interesting information. Plus, Kane was a great haggler, shopper.
Kane got you armor for almost free.
I know, it was a grand bargain.
Kane only had to go smoke some stuff with the owner.
Smoke leaf.
Kane enjoyed every second.
Okay. What's Jester's speed moving like? Are you just at a walk?
Angry walking.
Okay. What about these other peeps? Y'all just leisurely strolling?
That's kind of, I wasn't like storming off because, I didn't really have like a absolute true destination. I just needed to get away.
Okay.
So I was just like walking, and then when he had mentioned, like going like to the market, I just kind of was like going, okay. So I just ended up going that direction with him.
Okay.
It's the anywhere but here theory.
Yeah.
So
She vaguely hears me go, well, market. She goes, that's right, we're going to the market.
So eventually, Io, as the rain's pouring down on you guys and the lightning is striking off and on, and the thunder's rolling here, Jesse and Io see Kane walking, and you guys eventually catch up to him in stride. You're about halfway to the market, and as you're walking, you notice that there's also like a bit of a fog rolling off of the harbor/river. So it's definitely somewhere in between moonrise and moonset. So it's in the deep of the night, and the fog is rolling in from the harbor as the storm rages on.
I feel like you're quoting that song right now.
Try not
I also
to.
thought it was daytime.
No, as you guys walked out, it was storming and as you exit the building, it's nighttime and pouring rain. Lightning strikes and thunder rolls as the storm rages on in the night.
Got it.
So
Sorry, now I have that song stuck in my
bad.
head.
There you go.
it's all good.
I see it now.
So you guys make it halfway to the party, and you're now completely drenched. The rain's coming down, pretty good. It's not a full tilt like bombardment of rain, but it's steady and coming down in sheets. So as Kane is making his way, like at this point, Jesse and Io have caught up to him, and you guys are all drenched as you catch up to Kane.
How am I caught up to him when I left first? And
She's leading us.
Oh, I thought
What?
Kane left.
yeah,
first, sorry.
no, I left. Kane came with me, and as far as I knew, Io was like still back there.
Okay,
I don't know, like.
So Io
how-
would be the one that just catches up to us.
Yeah. So flip it, reverse it. Kane catches up to Jesse, and heartbeats later, Io catches up to Kane and Jesse. And you guys walk silently the rest of the way to the market.
No, as we're there, since we're just heading into town, like when I get up to Jesse, I kind of point off into the distance of where I know the weaponsmith, armorsmith guy to be, and point off and say, "Let's head over there. That's where Kayan's friend is."
I nod to you and kind of like do like a affirmative like shrug, and follow you.
I'm like, "That's my friend over there." She's like, whatever. Okay.
All right. So you guys make it to the market, and of course it's the dead of night, so there's not, you don't see anybody meandering around the marketplace. You see most of the tents are folded up and gone for the evening. There's just the outside structure of where the shops or the pop-up shops would be. There's a couple with the cloth and the everything still up, but you don't see anybody around as, of course, it's storming and pouring rain in the middle of the night.
Are we in range to see if the actual the shops are open?
Yes. So several of the shops, the doors are open and the lights are on.
Okay. Then here, let's work. Never mind. I see that. I see exactly what you just said. I see nothing more that I was going to talk about. No more, no less. Rain is now getting in my eyeballs.
I don't see much more from what Kayan sees.
Rain is getting in our eyeballs. Anyway, I continue on. Since I'm assuming we're working as a silent group now.
I
And
guess.
Kane's literally standing there. Probably, I'm assuming this is how it is, with Jesse like on my left shoulder, and then Io on my right shoulder, and I'm like the kid whose parents just had a fight. I'm just walking in between them. I'm like the only thing holding them together. You know, feels shit. Then Io forgets that Kane can barely speak proper English. Doesn't understand.
I do the universal language of like holding a mug of beer and going like this, even
Nice.
though Aya doesn't drink.
I kind of just like brush him off, and I point off to the armor smith whose place is hopefully lit up, and then we just keep heading there.
Okay. So you're looking. You said you're looking for the armorsmith shop.
Yeah, well,
Okay.
I know that the armor smith, weaponsmith were across the way from each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, or they were the same person. It was the ranged dude
Yeah.
that was across the way.
Yes.
But yeah, the melee weapon guy that I've been going to.
Okay. So you walk into the shop, and it looks like all of the weapons have been polished, and all of the racks are full of weapons. The candles are burning bright. and flickering back and forth in the wind of the night. You take solace in the fact that you're no longer getting poured on as you drip water all over the wood floors as you walk in. And the room is incredibly silent.
I'm gonna kind of like do like the little leg shake with both legs, trying to wring off as much water as humanly possible. Like just 2 good shakes with each leg, and I'm gonna walk up to where the like main counter is. I'm not gonna go into the store, and just kind of like loudly kind of knock, since I don't see the dwarf around.
So you're knocking and you hear nothing. It's just completely silent. But you're able to cast a lot of rain off of your loincloth.
A dry loincloth is a happy loincloth.
Don't they have a dress code in these shops?
I turn around to him, I say, "For people like you."
And
And then, since it's silent, I'm assuming. So I'm gonna go into the back room,
oh jeez.
where I've been before and been invited before.
Okay.
Someone's getting hammered. And I'm gonna go knock on that back door first before going through it, to see if he's possibly back there.
The funny thing is, I was actually going to suggest just auto-failing the check.
If I auto-fail a check, can I auto-pass a check? Is that how that works? Can we build up a pass-fail system?
So you knock to go back and you hear nothing in response. So you said you just go through anyway?
No, I'm gonna go back to Jesse and Niall.
Okay.
And as I walk back, I go, "I don't know where he is, but we should watch his place for him if he's gone." So Kayan channels his inner cashier again,
Oh god.
and I just go wait behind the counter until he comes back.
I go up to the counter where Kayan is and just, I'm trying to like, Kayan, you're not supposed to play with other people's money. It's bad. That's not Kayan's.
I go, I not take money. People only give me money. I leave it here on counter, and I point off to the rack where I found where the dwarf last showed me his the thing that Io was wearing, his mail. I point off over there. I say, "Go look over there. That's where I found stuff that fit you."
It's like, will you sell it to me cheap?
I go, "Maybe if he like you." Then I'm going to look and see what is behind the counter. Searching.
You take 10 as you're not under stress, or you could even take 20. But
I
you
will
find...
take 10.
Okay. You easily find what I described.
Yes. I call over Jessie, since she's still. I've sent Io away, and Jessie's still kind of near me. I call over Jesse and I point to the floor. I say, "Look at this! What is this black stuff on the floor?"
I look down and kind of just look at it kind of strangely. What would I need to roll to try to figure
Nothing.
out what that is?
You know what it is. It's a small pile of black ashes.
And I repeat that to Kayan. I go, something got burned up here.
Is there any way with any kind of check that I can see what those ashes are, the type of ashes?
Yeah, go ahead and roll a knowledge nature check. Warning, epic DC.
Okay. Hiya!
Yeah, you
Damn
have
it.
no idea. They look like ashes.
What a great time for a 20. Can I take 20 then?
I don't think if you take 20,
I know. I know.
do it. But I'm pretty sure, I was just thinking them talking about ashes on the ground. It's like that's probably the shopkeeper knowing this town. He's a pile of ashes now. I don't think he would just leave his store unattended at night with all these valuable weapons.
Is Io thinking this as he's somewhere else?
Yeah, I'm just thinking it to myself, but I mean, I'm probably going over there to mention it, and after I come back from the looking at the shiny chainmail.
Yeah.
I look at Kay and I'm like, well, I mean, what do you think? I mean, what do you think this could be? I mean,
As like coming up from like inspecting it, and like essentially what I'm thinking I'm doing is like I picked up a small amount of it and was like rubbing it through my hands. I stand back up and I go, I don't know. It's just like something was burnt here.
I mean, it's probably not anything good. I mean, I doubt anybody was like, hey, let's build a campfire inside.
Maybe.
That would be a bad idea to build a fire inside, especially the inside's made out of wood.
One.
Are you trying to figure out if you would think it would be a bad idea to build a campfire inside? Just wondering. Or would that be more of an intelligence check?
Yeah.
That question makes me think of the tomato diagram for the stats. If you've seen that one.
Yes.
Strength is seeing how well you can smash a tomato. Dex is how well you can throw it. Con is seeing if you're allergic to the tomato. Intelligence is knowing that tomato is not a fruit or not a vegetable. Wisdom is something I can't remember. And then wisdom is knowing that you can go in a fruit salad. Does not go in a fruit salad, and then charisma is convincing somebody that salsa is a fruit salad.
So it would be more of a wisdom check.
Yeah.
As I kind of get back to my feet, I ask Jesse, I go, why don't you look across the way? And I'm like pointing outside the door. See if his friend who gave you your weapon is there.
I kind of look at Okay, and I'm like, yeah, my friend, the one who thought women shouldn't do anything. I'm like, yeah, I'm sure he's gonna talk to me.
As she says this, I point over to Io. I say, take him with you. Give you guys time to be on better terms.
I looked at Ken and I'm just like, yeah, because that's gonna work. Okay. And I like look over at Io and I'm like, just come on. And
Uh,
I leave to go across the way.
I turn and whisper to Kay, like, she made a friend? Like, question mark.
I just like as I was walking by, I like take him and like throw him out the door faster.
I can see this in a comic strip. Like Io turns to make a smart ass comment, and Kane just like shoves him out the door.
Yeah.
So
Here's
you guys
something
are now
funny.
you guys are now super drenched again as you go out into the storm. As now the fog has rolled in just a little bit more. You can see as far as your eyes can see, and then when the lightning strikes as far out as you can see with the extra illumination, there's just that fog that's at about ankle level, rolling in throughout the entire harbor area or market area. You guys walk over to the other building. This one, across the way, the door's closed, but you can see the candles are burning from the windows in the front of the building.
I check the door to see if it's unlocked.
The door is unlocked.
I open the door and kind of peek my head in and just like hello.
Your hello echoes throughout the room. You get no response back.
And I open the door kind of like slowly and quietly, and then just so I don't make a lot of like footfalls on the floor, I kind of like raise myself up off the floor, kind of fly a little bit, and kind of like fly in kind of carefully, kind of looking and kind of see if I see something, and I'm going to do a spot check.
Okay. So you're kind of looking, and again, like the shelves are stocked. There's plenty of armor inside the building. Everything is organized greatly as Io's yelling, "Hello, anyone here?" And it's just really silent inside the room. And then you hear Io yelling, like imagine yelling
I
out in
turn,
the
yeah,
rain.
I turn around and I just put my hand over his mouth, and I'm like going, and I say like in like a hushed whisper, and I'm like, "Shut up! What if something else is here?"
And that's the
Lightning
quickest way to
strikes.
find out.
Lightning strikes as she says this, illuminating the sky, showing the annoyance in her face.
And then I kind of just like when he didn't say anything like immediately, I just kind of was like, and this is not helping my mood either. And I like turned around and I continued like looking around, but I don't see anything like strange.
No.
What other, are there any like doors to any other rooms?
Just a back door into what would seem like an office at the other side of the room.
Okay, I kind of go up to that door and I like check, is there any like lock, is there any lock on it?
The door is locked, and you see the little cashier stand right next to it on the way into the back room, but the back room is locked, and it has a little sign that's about eye level that says employees only.
Okay, I knock on it first.
Okay. You knock. There's no response. A couple heartbeats go by. Nothing.
Okay. what I am. All right. I am going to use Psionic Knock, which is this knock spell opens stuck, barred, locked, held, or psionic locked doors.
Okay.
It opens secret doors as well as locked or trick opening boxes or chests.
Okay.
So I'm going to, let me see.
Okay.
Yeah, there's no like saving throw or anything.
Sure.
So
Yeah, it's like knock. It's just the psionic knock. The lock comes. You hear the tumbler moving, and the lock turns, and the door opens freely. The room is pitch black. There's no light in the room.
okay. Can I do anything with my ring to try to make it like glow to
Sure.
be able to see a little bit better with that?
Of course. You will your ring to glow, and it gives off a green light of willpower as the room is illuminated and just green light emanating from your ring, as I'm assuming you're kind of like holding it up in front of you.
Yeah, and I'm not really like walking in yet, just kind of like at the entrance, because I'm just trying to see if I can find somebody. I'm not like,
Yeah. The room is completely empty. There's another door towards the back of it, and there's a desk to the left as you walk in, and two chairs off to the side. Must be like a, who knows, like a consulting table or maybe like the manager's office or something like that. Employee room. You do notice that there's multiple coins just spewed upon the floor, and there's an empty coin purse that looks like it had fallen off the front of the table, and there's just multiple coins coming out of it. You count at least 30 roughly that have come out of the bag, and the bag seems about half opened and half dumped on the floor, but the room is completely empty and the candles aren't lit.
well, that seems a little suspicious to me that like a bag of coins would just be like laying on the floor like that, especially in a business. So I kind of carefully I'm still like floating above, even though I probably have Io tromping behind me. I'm trying to be quiet, but
Shadows are pretty quiet. We can move silently. Shadow. Okay, even
And
I will
so-
make a move silently check to show how sneaky I can.
And so I walk into, or kind of float into the room, kind of trying to see what I can, and go to that back door. I ignore the sack of coins because I didn't want to take anything from a business, no matter how much I did not enjoy the treatment I got from the owner earlier. So I check I check the door and kind of like knock on it again just to see.
The door in the very back.
Yes.
You knock on it.
Nothing.
Just silence.
Is it locked again?
The door is locked.
Okay, I'm gonna use my psionic lock again.
Okay. You hear the tumbles unlock as the doors go to open, as the handle unlocks so that it can be freely moved again.
Okay, and I carefully open it again, just because I don't want to make any like sudden movements or anything like that. Still trying to do this really quietly because I don't want to startle anything or anything. Just trying to do this as quietly as I can, just trying to see if I could find somebody that's alive.
Sure.
So
So you
Yeah.
slowly open the door, and as you're opening it, the door immediately gets caught in the breeze and swings open and hits the backside of the building as you see that this is the back door out of the establishment facing the the river.
Okay. And as I like look outside, well, at first that made me jump
Yes.
because caught me off guard. Then I roll my eyes at myself, and like as I'm looking outside, I'm like, look, I kind of. You said it's right by the river.
So you are in, let's say, this building.
Okay, so kind of like right in front of that dock area.
Yep.
Okay. Well, I'm kind of looking like right and left, and I know I have kind of a limited sight outside because of like the darkness and the storm. But here, let me do a. Oh, okay. Well, I don't see much.
You see a lot of rain. You know when it's pouring rain and you look outside and it's dark and the lightning flashes and all you can see is the rain just pounding down. That's what you see.
Is Io like right? Are you right behind me?
Um,
I was like in like the main part of the story when you went into like the back room area. But if I didn't find anything when I did my like search thing, that I probably followed you back to the back eventually. So probably I caught up to you by now.
Okay, so you're like right behind me.
yeah, I was right behind you. I'm sure he moved
Okay.
towards you when you shrieked.
Yeah.
When
Yeah.
the door slammed against the back of the building.
But when I did, I moved silently because that was a pretty good move silent roll.
Okay, I turn around to see if he was behind me, and I saw him. So I kind of grabbed him by his like shirt, and I kind of pull him like in front of me, and I'm like, I'm assuming you can like see a little bit better out here than I can. Can you see anybody like from left to right? I mean, this is so weird that like how everything is. It's so quiet and dark, and we haven't found anybody yet.
Well, I mean, it is kind of weird. I mean, there was nobody in the other shop. There was a pile of ashes, and now there's nobody in this shop.
Well, I know,
Maybe.
but can you see anything?
Well, I do
I
have
know it's weird.
shady vision, so yeah, take a look around, do a spot.
Oh, okay.
Well, if it's there, I definitely see it.
You see nothing.
I see nothing perfectly.
So you see the white arrow across the bay. Because you're actually not with Kane, you're over with Jesse. So you see where I put the white arrow across the bay?
Yeah.
Okay. So you look out and you see absolutely nothing. And as you're continuing to look, like, just thinking, like, what's going on as you're looking around, finally you're starting to see some of the forest through the trees, in a sense. You look at the river, and as the lightning flashes and it kind of burns at your eyes and you regain your senses, or your sight, you see that there's a multitude of dead fish floating up in the water, as well as carcasses of birds and other like stuff that'd be along the harbor, as well as rat carcasses. However, as you're seeing that, you scan across, and somehow your shade sight picks up at that white arrow across the river. You see some debris that looks like wooden, like different wooden planks off of what might have been a boat. And just on the beach, off of the water, it looks like it might have washed up. You see what looks like a pure silver revolver, and it's in the sand of the river.
Oh,
That's the happiest thing I've heard all night.
That is interesting. It's like the only guy that I was just thinking to himself, the only guy I know that has a boom boom stick is
No.
Tiberian.
No.
And then I kind of look over at Jessica, and I was like, there's a lot of dead things over there, lots of dead birds, rats, dead fish floating in the water, and there's also one particular thing that stands out. There's a revolver, and I don't know about you, but the only guy that I know that uses that kind of weapon was Tiberian, and he wouldn't just leave that thing lying around. I think it deserves a closer look, but we should probably get the others, or at least can, before we go.
Well, yeah, because we're probably gonna go after a bridge, because I ain't crossing that water. Other
I
than
can
on a
s-
bridge.
I was like, you're with me, I can swim. Kane's the one who can't swim.
Well, I mean, I could fly over, but yeah, again, but it's storming right now, and y- we've had some really crappy luck when it comes to water. So then I kind of like, I'm like, all right, well, let's go back through the shop. I just want to make sure we lock up on the way out. As much as I didn't like this guy, I don't really, I don't have any. It's just it. I don't want anybody to like steal his valuables. So I walked through, kind of pushing him back through, so I could lock the
Okay.
doors behind.
Before you do this, can I have you, Io, and Can roll a listen check?
A what?
Listen,
Oh, listen. Okay. Oh, I have terrible modifier on this one.
both of those are bad. It's my roll too.
Oh, well, I rolled better than the
Okay.
both of you.
What'd you guys get?
I got an adjusted 20.
Adjusted 12.
I got a 4.
Shit.
Or an 11 if you want to count the second one.
He got a 4.
Shut
Got a
up.
4. All right. So Can hears this and Jesse hears this. So in the timeline of what you were telling me you were just doing, as you guys walk in and decide you want to go investigate this, right as you grab the door and you go to swing it shut, you hear large flapping pass from what sounds like over the top of the building, and you hear a large screeching that immediately sparks a memory of what you had just gone through with the fight with the dragon screaming. Both Jesse and Can hear this above. Io doesn't hear anything. Jesse goes to shut the door, and as she hears this, it freezes you. Like you stop, almost petrified with fear.
And I'm looking outside the door. I guess off over to where they ran off to.
Did I get? So I'm like halfway through closing the door, or I have gotten it closed.
Halfway closing the door, so you've got it halfway closed, and you hear that, and it just like PTSD freezes you in your tracks. And
Okay.
as you're looking out, can you see lightning strike, and you just see a large shadow that passes over the buildings going north.
Where we just came from?
No, north towards the top of the map.
Got it. I am immediately hearing that. I'm going to double check the shop. I'm going to go search in the axes to see if there is one better than mine and arm myself in case that thing comes back.
You see several axes in the building. Unless you're like looking for like actual disparaging between the quality of it.
Oh yes, yeah. I'm going to where all like the big axes are, and I'm gonna try to actually look intently for the best one.
You find an axe on the shelf that's a great axe, and as soon as it looks like sharper than the rest, and as soon as you pick it up in your heightened sense of defensiveness and awareness. As you pick it up, like the head of the axe springs to life in a glowing red flame, as it's a flaming great axe.
I pick that up and I kind of wait towards, like, I kind of go back to the counter, but having it armed, like waiting, like at the front door. Like I've got it just readied to swing if there happens to be a dragon face that comes into my shop. No dragon faces here.
All right, so you're standing in the door holding this axe in a defensive stance, and we go back to Jesse, who now after this realization becomes unparalyzed with fear.
So I'm no longer paralyzed.
Yeah, it's just like a split two. Like this is what
Yeah.
Kane's doing, and then this is what Jesse's doing. So there was a good 2 heartbeats where you're just sitting there paralyzed with fear, holding the door, and then I assume you like shut it abruptly.
Yes, I shut it and I immediately like I don't know if there's actually a latch. If not, I probably can relock it. I'm Oh,
Yeah,
where's it
there's-
here?
There's not a
What?
latch on it, but there's like a lock.
Okay, well I lock it, and then I kind of I tell Io, and I'm like, I think there's a fucking dragon out there, but we need to see as when we go back through, let's see if we can like grab something if we absolutely have to, and then see if we can get back over to where Kayan is, because I think it's better if we're together, but we need to see if we're able to get across the market. Okay. So I
Another dragon?
walk forward, and what did you say?
I said, ooh, another dragon already?
Possibly. I'm sure there's more than one in this world. As I push him forward, and I still pass the money because I still feel bad. I still would feel bad about like touching that. So, but the weapon parts make more sense to me because it's more in the moment. Or was this more of a no? Was this another type of weapon shop? Because this was the
ranged weapon shop.
the ranged
Yeah.
weapon stuff.
This
so
is the ranged weapon shop.
yeah. So and then I left that employees only door and I locked it behind me as well, and then I immediately start searching for a good weapon as well. Well, not really as well because I don't know that Kane's doing that.
So, as you're doing this, you notice that the streamers of shadows are just erupting like defensively around Io. It's like his own skin has come to life and is defensively like swirling about him. As you mentioned, the dragons, and the room itself, like, unfortunately, as you go to look around for a weapon, just darkness, pure darkness emanates off of Io, and it engulfs the room, and you can smell, like when you blow out a candle, that burned wicker smell. You smell that as the pure power of the darkness and the shadows given off from Io's shade energies have squashed out the candlelight. So it's incredibly dark in the room, and you hear again the lightning strikes go out outside the room and a little bit of flash of light as the room falls silent into darkness.
I kind of like whisper and I'm like, you're making it really incredibly hard for me to look for things right now.
I just grab her like, here, the door's this way. And I look around really quick and I just like grab the nicest looking thing that I see. So let's see.
You see several different weapons. I mean, the weapon shop was full of long bows, short bows, composite bows, and then hand crossbows. You see a hand crossbow that stands out as potentially constructed better than any of the others.
I grab that one and I hand it to her. And then I start pulling her towards the door since she can't see anything.
Did you say since I can't say anything?
Since you can't see anything.
Can't say anything. Okay, I was like going, what does your darkness like make me mute to?
So you pull Jesse towards the door that's still open because you guys didn't close the door as you came into the shop. And you come to the portal or the doorway. The door's wide open, kind of going back and forth. Think of like a screen door beating against the wall, except it's the wooden door just banging against the side of the building. In the wind, the rain is still pretty steadily coming down in sheets, and the wind is blowing quite profusely. So not only is it raining, but now it's kind of raining sideways, as you hear thunder above as you make it directly to the portal. Io, you see Can standing across the way at the door, and you see him standing there in the doorway in a defensive stance, holding an axe with a brightly red glowing head to it.
It's like, did you have to get a bright, shiny, sparkly, glowy axe? I mean, it's kind of bright. Couldn't you get like a nice, dark, shadowy, icy axe instead?
As Io broods to himself, because obviously in the rain and the wind, Kane can't hear
Through the
across
storm,
the
it's
street.
not hearing.
Yeah.
Well, Kane has really good hearing on occasion, so I mean, I'm assuming that Kane just has like.
I will take that automatic
Super
fail and saying I don't hear anything.
Okay.
Yeah, because that's fairly far on the
A
map
couple
to
hundred
be
feet
hearing.
through the storm. Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
hear.
You can't underestimate Kane's listening skills.
Mm-hmm.
Can barely understand English. Carrie can barely understand English at great distances.
All right. Well, as he's mumbling this to himself, like saying stuff that he apparently thinks that Kane can hear, we come out of the shop. I put I can't. Was it a crossbow that you handed to me?
Yeah, I think Craig said it was a crossbow. It was a very,
Yeah,
very
Okay.
nice looking
it's a hand crossbow.
Okay. I held it in my hand, kind of like just like in front of me, kind of defensively. I mean, even though I knew I had like other powers and stuff, but I sometimes liked having like a physical weapon in my hand as well. So I kind of we kind of went out out the front door. I turned around and I just didn't lock it, but I made sure like the door was like secured shut, just in case we needed to retreat back into it quickly.
Okay.
And then I kind of like tried to like see if I could like look up or around and see if I could see anything. I'll roll another spot check. Oh, Jesus.
Okay. So each of you see this. So right as Jessie goes to shut the door and she turns back towards Io to, I assume, go back towards Can, Jessie stumbles and goes down to one knee as something massive goes very fast, swooping by in between the three of you, and you feel the ground move momentarily underneath your feet as you hear a large crashing sound coming from across into the bay over where that little island where A is marked. You see a large outline of a figure, although you can't see that far in the darkness. You see a large figure come crashing down onto that island and onto the bridge. And as it lands, the ground literally moves. You feel a slight tremor, and that's what knocks Jessie to her knee from a standing position.
Where did you say that it landed? We saw where it landed.
Yeah, there's a token A.
Oh,
On
okay.
the bridge.
There, I see it.
And for Jessie, in between the lightning flashes, all you can see from that distance is you see a large form that's in between the bridge and that island, and in between the lightning flashes, and it seems toweringly large. The form itself seems larger than the buildings.
At this point, I kind of just like, I look over to where Kayan is, and I just book it over to him.
So Jessie starts sprinting over to Kayan, and it's kind of like a half run stumble as she's darting towards Kayan's direction. What does Io do?
Io gets a phone call from his dad and he declines it.
Shit.
Yeah, my dad thinks D&D is like demonic, satanic worshiping, so let's see, I don't know, what were we doing? I wasn't paying attention.
Another giant thing landed at a giant figure landed at the island of A, and Jessie was running to me.
Oh, well, I would probably be running towards the thing. That's what I would do.
Okay. So you run towards the bridge?
Yes.
Okay, so as Jessie makes it to Kayan, standing defensively in the doorway, you see Io hauling ass towards the bridge.
So that's like, I'm guessing Jessie's like running in, out of breath, semi frightened.
Yeah, Jessie looks like very pale, and as she runs towards you, and you had just seen what she saw too. So
yeah, as she's running in, I like put the axe away, and as she's like running and stumbling in, I kind of I grab her by like both shoulders as she's like getting in, and kind of just like hold her up, and not like no longer falling and tripping around. and I look at her, and I'm just like, "You're here. Where's Io going?" And like I point out the door and like kind of like move her and show her that Io's sprinting off in the other direction.
I turn and look to see what he's pointing at, and then I looked at Kayan, and I like rolled my eyes like super large, and I'm like, he's doing what he always does, running in half cocked, and then he's gonna end up getting us all killed.
And then in true words of Kayan, and I go, well, he needs us to be full cocked. I grab Jessie and I start running after Io.
I like throw my hands up in the air, kind of, and I'm just like, and I'm like, oh, how did I get myself into this?
Yeah.
And
full cocked. I imagine myself kind of grabbing Jessie, picking her up, pulling the axe out in the other hand, and then just like sprinting off towards Io.
Cannonball! Alright, so you guys start sprinting towards Io, and as you're doing this, as this is unfolding, Io makes it to the bridge. He's standing there soaked in the rain as the lightning's crashing throughout the sky around him. Io, you see obviously what looks to be a dragon at A. The dragon stands a solid 35 feet high with absolutely huge wings that span out almost twice the dragon's width as the tail is flapping back and forth. Its scales are a dark red. And you see the dragon just breathing fire at something in front of it. And you see just a cone of absolute, like, ridiculous fire going out like this. And in the center of it, there's a portion of the cone that the fire's just bending around. And as the fire comes out of the dragon's mouth, it just... You see plumes of smoke going into the sky as the water in the bay is evaporated as the fire from the dragon's breath hits it.
Shit.
A big fiery breath you have, too.
And so, the scene I just described, Kane and Jesse see this as they're about halfway to Io, who Io just stops dead in his tracks and is kind of watching this unfold at the edge of the bridge. And the darkness of the night is just illuminated, and the display of awesome fire coming from the dragon's maw.
At least the dragon wasn't fire blasting in my direction.
Yeah. As we're getting closer, I kind of like look to Jessie as she's like on my shoulder, and I say, "I'm gonna let go of you now. Keep up with me," and like kind of signaling her to start flying, so I'm not like holding her anymore. And as she acknowledges with a good bite of salad, I release her.
Jesse, make a will save.
Oh, fuck me.
So Jessie goes to fly, but she doesn't end up flying. She ends up like in a half run to a walk and stops. And Can's already gone, but Jesse, you go to fly. You will your energy into flying, and suddenly, instead of being encompassed by like a green energy, you're encompassed by a yellow energy, and it just fizzles out, and you're not currently not able to manifest your flying ability. I can't hear you.
I grunt a little bit, like, ugh, and then like shake my ring a little bit like it's not working or something. And then like roll my eyes to myself, and then I like follow in the I run as fast as I can, like trying to catch up to Can.
That's not nice things to say, Io. It's like a bunch of lines.
Well, I'm speaking dragon to the dragon. I thought it'd be polite to speak in its own draconic language.
Oh no.
So,
Hey, you fuckface! You light the ocean on fire.
There's not less, though my dialect may be a little rusty, so something might have gotten lost in translation, but it was not the intended state.
So as Io's taunting the dragon, Kane comes up and kind of like in a superhero movie moment pose, like Kane runs up directly next to Io as he's yelling at the dragon, and he comes to a stop, and you see Kane pull the axe from behind him and kind of get into a readied stance or defensive stance right as Jesse runs up as well, and comes to the opposite side of Can standing next to Io.
Switch to Sprint Unlimited. Just $24 per month.
So
Are we just waiting for Sif to come back?
Well, I mean, sure. But I didn't know what other reaction would happen as you guys got there.
Okay, well, so I got there about very soon after Candid.
Yeah.
I kind of like do that thing where, you know, when you're like running and haven't been used to like running that much lately, and just like kind of like, you know, like slightly out of breath, not so much that I'm not paying attention to things, but just kind of do that thing where you like hold on to like the arm of Can's arm, like right next to me, just kind of like, you know, just because it was just annoying that I couldn't run or fly.
Yeah.
And then how close are we to Io?
Right behind him / next to him.
And I turned to him and I'm like going, what are you doing? We should prepare before we just go running up to a dragon. I mean, it's not exactly something that there's less of us this time because Jester took off, and this kind of came out of nowhere. I mean, we don't want to just like run in on this stuff. We need to prepare and have a plan.
Well, Jester's always running off, and I'm just saying hi. I mean, trying to establish peaceful diplomatic relations with this dragon.
I rolled my eyes at him and I'm like, yes, because that's always worked. And then I look over at Kay and I'm like, well, I guess we better prepare to like fight for our lives. And I look back over to the dragon.
I am holding my giant fiery axe.
I'm waiting silently waiting to see if the dragon responds positively to my diplomatic overtures.
Yes, the dragon breaks out a quill and signs a peace treaty that he will no longer hurt the city anymore. Congratulations.
Well, I'm not really concerned about the city. I'm just concerned about us. I mean, the city's been kind of a jerk to us. I mean, the WotC is subpar. The customer service is terrible.
You're concerned about us. Why would you rush towards the dragon?
Well, because I know none of you guys can speak dragon, so I was running over there so I can get the first word in.
Why couldn't we just like run in the opposite direction? That's better for us if you're thinking about just us.
Well, I mean, you gotta be proactive. You can't just run away and hope the dragon doesn't come after you. I mean, you gotta go towards the dragon.
What was that screaming?
Nothing.
Someone's TV.
I'm
I
not
think
screaming.
it was Sif.
I'm not screaming. Promise.
Oh shit, I was on mute. That's not very helpful.
Oh yeah, I'm just sitting here quietly waiting
My
for
bad.
something to happen.
So the dragon, like after the breath weapon goes off, now that you guys are standing there and Io's kind of like justifying why he's trying to talk to the dragon or come up to it, you see this humanoid standing in front of the dragon, and directly in that aftermath of where the cone of fire was, and the dragon's grunting through its words as its voices bellowing and echoing throughout the river area, yelling at this individual.
So he's yelling in the opposite direction of Io?
Yeah, the
Okay.
dragon's back is to you guys, but keep in mind this dragon is like 35 feet tall.
Yeah.
And dark red scales, and its attention is fully across at the other bridge.
So he's yelling at the thing, whatever is at like B.
Yes.
Okay.
So I look over at Can and Jasika, who obviously can't speak dragon, and I kind of tell him like, the dragon's basically saying that the other guy shouldn't be here. He says that the dragon's referring to says their kind will rid themselves of all mortals. So I think they want to kill all the mortal races, and that says that the dragon saying that this land now belongs to the ancients. So I mean, we're the ancients, so I guess we got ourselves a new town. So maybe the dragon's on our side, since it says that wants to kill the mortal races and we're immortal. So you know, like I said.
I looked at him, I'm like, you're talking like this is still a good thing. We don't really, you really want, you're like just okay that, you know, like this is our town now and that they're gonna like kill everybody else?
Well, I mean, we're not trying to kill us, so I mean, that's a positive thing. I mean, all the other dragons have been trying to kill us, but this one seems, you know, to not want to kill us. It just seems to want to kill everybody else. So, I mean, that's progress. And, you know, considering how, you know, mean the town has been to certain people of shadowy colors, I mean, you know, death could be a good step in the right direction for them.
I looked up at Kan and I said, I don't even know anymore.
I look, I walk up closer to Io, right to his side, and, like, who's he yelling at? Can you tell that? Can you ask your friend? Does he need help with whoever he's yelling at?
As the party's talking amongst themselves, the clouds above you part in a cylinder depicted in around the dragon. A pillar of pure sunlight comes down from the sky, scorching the earth around the creature. The dragon screams and howls in a very primal, painful screech as the party can no longer see anything around them except the steam from the evaporated water coming off the river. As suddenly as it appeared, the clouds fill back in around that circle, and the sunlight disappears, and the display of pure power is gone as the steam and the fog surrounds the party.
So I assume that dragon got burnt to a crisp. Or is the dragon still alive?
So as the party looks at each other after this happens, and Io's trying to talk out to the dragon or yell out to the dragon, you see the creature go tumbling past you, behind you, as lightning strikes again. This large dragon goes flying directly behind you and tumbles, rolling into multiple buildings, destroying two of the buildings coming into the captain courts and the prisoners carnival. The dragon literally rolls as, for whatever reason or some force, has thrown it across, like half a mile of the distance, and it just slams into buildings, taking a couple of them out.
I go over to the dragon and cast cure light wounds. Doing my part.
Okay, so Io goes over to the dragon, and you guys see Io going to the dragon. And as this is happening, you see this, I want to say 5.5 to 6 foot tall humanoid that looks like just a elf with long blonde hair, and almost a little more tan skin with bright green eyes, is just walking casually across the bridge and walking straight towards the dragon. There's probably about 50 feet between the two of you and this humanoid, as it's just walking casually towards the dragon.
I kind of look over at Kan and are you looking at that person walking in in our direction?
I give her a nod and just kind of dig my foot in a little bit more into the ground.
So as Io's over next to the dragon, healing it, the dragon's knocked out cold, along with a couple of the buildings just taken out. The humanoid is walking up towards you guys and walks past you. And as it walks past you, almost not even noticing it stops dead in its tracks after it walks in between the two of you. And you hear it say the following, and it literally hurts to hear this creature speaking to you, or this humanoid speaking to you, because you hear it in about 17 languages at the same time, simultaneously. And the creature says, interesting. How are these humanoids still alive? Especially after what has transpired here. Impressive. I'll have to come back to you after I deal with this ancient. And the creature just continues walking towards the dragon.
Like I put, as he's walking towards us and I'm here on the dragon, it's like I kind of put myself in between them. It's like, whoa, 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 not so fast. Let's talk about this.
So it's now damsels in distress and dragons in distress.
I want to know which dragon we're supposed to be siding with here. I mean, the guy, that dragon's getting its butt kicked, so maybe obviously, we might need a little bit of help, before we kick a dragon when he's down.
I look over at KN and I'm like, I really think he's trying to kill us every time we encounter somebody.
What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. And sometimes
Except
what
when it kills you.
makes you stronger. I've died twice now? Look, stronger than ever. It's not that bad.
So the creature stops directly in front of Io, not even looking at Io, looking past him towards the dragon. And again, in like 17 different languages, it addresses Io directly. And it says, Child of Shar, the only reason I have not striking you dead where you stand is out of respect for your deity. Move aside so that I may kill the Ancient One, or you will join its fate.
He's an Ancient One, I'm an Ancient One. We kind of gotta, look out for Ancient Ones. Kind of gotta look out for each other. We're not like, first, before just let you kill this dragon. You could, might as well tell us, why you want him dead first. That'd be nice.
Let's see if Io has any luck today.
Let's see if Io's gonna kill us today.
I would never do that.
I'd like to just repeat that Io should be a little bit shaken up as he's hearing 17 languages spoken to him at the same time. But just to reiterate the point, the creature stops looking at the dragon and looks directly at Io and just says, Shadling, you've had a chance to possess your time on this plane. It is now our time. It's either ours or the Ancients.
This world's a pretty big place. Can't we just share it?
I knew that was coming.
I'll make a will save.
Will save, okay. I will use my thing, take a roll concentration.
Okay. Roll 3d6.
Oh, jeez. That ain't bad.
So, kind of like in DBZ, the creature just looks at Io, and Io goes flying. Like,
Rude.
Io goes flying back towards the shop that you guys were at, and Io crashes into the side of one of the buildings, and hits the building and then hits the ground, taking 10 points of subdual damage as he just suddenly went flying. So, Kayan and Jesse see the humanoid like reach out, and you hear him say something under his breath, and you see a very large sword appear in his hand, what looks like a two-handed bastard sword, and he walks up towards the dragon.
I looked over at Ken and I'm like, yeah, this is probably not going to end very well. Should we intervene?
I kind of look at her as we're doing this.
Okay, I'm still in the building, apparently.
As we talk, and kind of look. He very strong, but I will go if you go. Hey, I think I've always been that. I don't think I've shifted. I'm just everyone's friend. But yeah, that's the new. That's what I would like my alignment to be now.
Okay, what happened? I was seeing who was trying to call me just now and had to like message them.
It's
and-
Isle's dad. He hates D&D.
No, that wasn't. No, unless his name's Robin. But what happened? Sorry.
So I said, looking at you, I said, I go, he very strong, but I will go if you want, and like readied my axe.
God, I can't. I was like I'm having like a little bit of an internal struggle because I have like that, what is that?
Self-preservation.
Yeah, the self-preservation, the fear, like that I'm like terrified of like what could happen. But also, I mean, I don't want, to just stand by while someone kills something like that. God. Then I just mumble, God damn, Io. I go, yeah, we should. Yeah, let's do it. And I just I'm like, fuck. Okay.
So
Oh my god.
that means Jester and I would be related.
I mean, I honestly don't know who my mom is. So. And she is an ancient, and I'm a son of an ancient. It's a little bastard child, Yeah, so I'm following Jesse into this whatever is about to occur.
So are we attacking?
I am following you.
Well,
Oh.
I'm
Kane,
just as terrified. I'm kind of like looking at you during this. You're bigger than I am.
we are literally both decided that we want to go fight this thing, but we can't move.
Yes.
We
It's pretty much
are
that
waiting
whole,
for the other
like-
one to take the first step.
Yes, because the whole situation is just terrifying at this exact moment.
Okay,
Yeah.
roll initiative. Who goes first, Kane or Jesse?
Oh fuck!
Yeah, I'm feeling the same thing too, Seth.
Come on,
This-
one.
It actually sounds like they're both holding action.
Okay. I just want to see who would go first.
Yes.
So, Jesse. So you guys are holding to see what happens, or are you going to go attack this thing? I'm confused what they decided. They're like, yes, we
Well-
will save it. No, we don't want to die.
It's like my character's like supremely conflicted right at this exact moment because I mean, from that will save I had before, I was overcome with like a large amount of fear, so it's working on feeling better about attacking this being that just caused a whole bunch of light to come down and like make a lot of the river turn to steam. It's not exactly like going, well, hey.
Plus 10 experience points for being smart. I like your character.
So I'm against like my feeling of wanting to protect the dragon. I am like holding my action at this point just because of actual fear of seeing what had just happened. But I'm still like kind of like but I'd feel too guilty if I ran.
Okay. What does Kane do? Is Kane holding his action?
Yeah, I'm ready, standing by her side, and pretty much just watching what's about to go down. I mean, I said I was waiting for Jessie that I would go in if she goes in, and she's kind of standing there, second guessing. I can see kind of on her face, like kind of contemplating, do we go in or not? And I'm doing kind of the same, but also trying to like think what she's thinking, like if she's plotting something or if she sees something. I'm just trying, like, I'm kind of readied and like looking over at her, like ready and like, all right, is she going? Like, do I have to go in?
Can he see like fear in my face?
Oh, yeah, you don't look like normal Jesse, but
Yeah.
I will roll initiative. But this round you don't get to act because this round you spend picking yourself up from being thrown 30 feet across basically the market square into a building. So Io will act first next round, unless Jesse and Kane decide to act because they're holding their initiative right now. So this round will resolve, and the humanoid walks up over to the dragon, and you can see it just hold up that sword that appeared in its hand, and the sword just gleams as the lightning strikes above, and you see him just plunge the sword into the dragon.
No.
Do we as he does this, like, do we hear anything, or is it just like kind of just the storm?
Yeah, the storm is too much around you.
Okay.
So you hear the rain and the thunder and the lightning around you, and you just saw that happen, and you see the dragon doesn't make any movements that you can tell, but the dragon has not moved and many minutes as it got thrown through buildings. So now it's you guys' turn to act. So what does Jessie do? Does she unhold her initiative, or
Well,
does Io go?
I'm holding.
Okay.
Because I just like kind of like shut my eyes because it's just kind of like that, when you see something that you don't really want to have seen happen, and you feel really bad that you didn't do anything, but I'm still just kind of like that, like little bit of paralyzed with fear.
5 points suggest. Okay. So Kayan sees this. Like, Jessie is obviously like struggling. Like, she's got her eyes closed and she's like almost looking like she's gonna do something, but I'm sure Kayan, knowing Jessie as he does, can see kind of like the external struggle that's mirrored by the internal struggle. Does Kayan make any actions, or does he wait?
I kind of take my my eyes more off of the acts that just happened of him. Do we see him like just stab it in the head?
You can't see where he stabs it.
He just okay.
Yeah.
I take my eyes more like off of him and kind of focus more on Jessie, just because now it seems like something's actually physically wrong with her. I don't know if it's something it's causing, like the guy's causing, or if it's kind of just the scene. But I start trying to look more at her to make sure that she's okay.
That makes sense. I mean, Kayan could assume that she's like magically unable to act.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm just trying to see if anything happens to her, or if I need to kind of do anything for her to help her.
Okay.
So I'll just hold movement. Actually, no. Seeing this, I will move. I'm not going to do anything, but I'll move. Like, just take a 5-foot step and kind of position myself a little bit more in front of Jessie. Seeing this.
Okay.
And then I'm done.
Okay.
Trying to like separate her and yeah.
Got it. What does Io do?
What does Io do? It's a good question. Okay, Io will do that. Io's going to invoke one of the powers of his deity and use his trickery devotion, which allows him to project they call it a simulacrum of yourself, which can perform limited tasks. So I'm going to project that close to the dude with the stabby sword.
Okay.
And then that's a standard action. It has the image, or the simulacrum thing has a HP of 15 at my level.
Okay.
Yeah, I can do basic actions and stuff, and then so I project that close to him, and I direct it to make a grab for the sword, and then as a quick action, I pop in with a shadow jump beside the image, and we're both grabbing for the sword.
Shit.
I'll start writing Io's eulogy right now.
Better write quick.
So immediately as you do this, the sword hasn't found its home yet, but in the dragon. But you can see that this creature is like stabbing the dragon, and somehow the sword is going from the dragon's belly, and it's like moving its way towards the upper torso of the dragon. Like this being's using the sword to cut, like fillet the dragon almost, it looks like. And your projection appears right next to it and grabs onto its hand in the sword, and starts to try and wrestle it away right as you jump in and also grab the handle. So there's essentially two of you, like mirror image, holding onto the handle of the sword with the creature. And again, in those 17 languages, you hear the creature just say, without even looking at you, "That will be your last mistake," as it's Jesse's turn.
Now, if I just had my friends, to back me up, it'll all go swell because we're a team. And there's now two of me.
Well,
How many PowerPoints can you use in one attack?
All
Make
of
them
them.
all!
If this is really the direction y'all want to go in.
Hey, we killed an angel, so
A
we're
god
just...
should be no problem.
Yeah, exactly.
my character does not feel comfortable with just killing everything that comes along. Just FYI.
You gotta protect your own. I mean, that's an ancient that's in danger over there. We shouldn't save every Joe on the street, but I mean, we should probably save the people that are on our side. Or at least don't want to kill us.
That's why you run in and try to save other people all the time and try to get us killed. Okay.
Not all the time. Very few. I would be having this discussion. I'd be saying very few and rare exceptions. But I'm kind of busy, holding a sword. So we can't have this conversation until later.
Okay. Well, let me see if I can.
That's that Hero of the Storms typing right there.
Yeah.
It's totally about the XP.
Just think if we got a dragon on our side, guys. I mean, the potential. We could fly around and.
It's a song that never ends.
Sing about Puff the Magic Dragon. We can put your song about our dragon. We wouldn't name him Puff. We'd name him something other, cutesy. Like Tough the Magic Dragon. Rhymes. Io doesn't have a death wish, okay? I mean, sure, he's died twice and almost died like another 3 times beside that. But
All right, right now, I'm just going to first do like a protection against myself. I'm going to use my empathic feedback that the empathically share your pain and suffering with your attacker.
Okay.
So, and I look over at Kane and I'm like, we're probably going to have to fight, but I'm doing what I can to protect myself. And I kind of have like this sense of glowing around myself right now.
A green glow encompasses her like an aura.
And I kind of take a deep breath and mumble some words to myself, and I look like I'm having a lot less conflict now, but I look and I'm like, I'll be ready in just a moment. And then I kind of nod over to Kayan.
I nod back and fuck me. You know, times like this just make me sad. Yeah, I ready the axe. And nod and then just holdeth my action until she decides to run in. It's a very eventful part for Can. Can is still semi shit in his pants right now.
Does that just roll out the side of a loincloth, or?
It just comes out back. It looks like a tail for a split second, and then it just drops.
I kind of like scrunch up my nose, and I like look at it. I'm like going, really? Now?
Natural fight or flight response.
Yeah.
All right, Io.
Well, last time we left Io and his very handsome projection partner, he was grabbing the sword.
Okay. You're going to need to make an opposing strength check. Warning, epic DC. Your opposing strength check is DC 36.
Please nat 20 this shit. I want a sword.
Even if I'm nat 20, it's probably gonna end badly.
Okay.
That would be a no.
Hey Sif, did you like my out of comment?
Make
did.
a reflex save.
I liked it very much. That's exactly what I have.
Alright, we use my instant maneuver to go concentration instead of reflex, which is a different maneuver.
Okay. You take half damage. So go ahead and roll 6d6. That's half damage.
Alright, 6d6. 5, 6.
So you and your phantasm take 24 points of damage as you're trying to yank the sword out of the creature's hand. And again, he just smiled and he doesn't say anything this time. You see him reach his left hand up to the sky, and you just see twin lightning bolts coming across the sky as the storm's raging. And the lightning bolts are arcing in the sky, and as his hand goes up, they redirect directly to his hand, and the lightning bolt hits his hand and reflects off his hand and hits both you and your doppelganger. And you take 24 points of damage. And you fly back a good 10 feet from getting hit by the lightning bolt. And as the creature stabs into the dragon, and you see the dragon flail out and begin to scream as it's cut off and its body just falls limp.
Poor dragon friend.
Oh, don't worry. Go ahead and make a spot check as you were flying back 10 feet.
Spot.
So you see to the east of the map, you see all those letters? Those are dragons flying in towards the creature's location.
Dun 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 dun.
There'll be dragons here.
Do we hear Flight of the Bumblebees playing in the background?
That would be amazing.
Here, I got. No, I got the perfect music. I got the song. I hate ads on YouTube.
Use an ad block.
I know. Then there's no
Hey,
fun.
Anna finally made me install an ad block, and it's been nice. What are you watching on YouTube?
I'm getting the music.
He's getting the music, he's setting the tone.
Ah,
All right, so while Sif's queuing that up, you see these you see these dragons flying in, and the creature that you were just trying to grab the sword from stands up and looks at the dragons coming in, and you see him just stand there in the rain holding the sword down towards his leg, and he turns to you and he says again in the 17 languages, he says, "Some of these are a flight of your kin. Let's pick which one shall fall first." Yes.
is that the Wicked Witch of the West Flying Monkeys music?
No, it's Flight of the Bumblebee.
Bumblebee,
Oh,
yeah.
I couldn't hear it very well, so okay.
Yeah.
I would have recognized it. Flight of the
The one I
Bumblebee.
found was not loud.
Oh, okay, that's why I couldn't hear. It almost sounded like the Flying Monkeys music.
Yeah. I tried to find the Flying Monkeys first, but then there wasn't anything of just the Flying Monkey song.
Hey, hey, we're the monkeys.
I was thinking the same thing there too.
We're gonna monkey around.
So, what turn are we waiting for now?
Hold on.
We could be a monkey around. We're singing to put anybody down.
That's funny.
When we hear this, which was the damn it. Here we go. It's from Shrek.
That's also in the Thor movie.
Thor.
Yeah,
I know.
I do
I love
actually.
it.
And it should be, if we're gonna do a Shrek song, it should be Holding Out for a Hero from Shrek 2. And the giant gingerbread coming in.
Well, it's Chris's turn.
Okay. I am going to attempt to use here. Which one is it? Oh no, that's. Hold on, just a second.
Alright, fella, let's crash this party.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. This is in a. Gotta move my windows around here a little bit. This is in a cone-shaped, like, burst, but it's like the part of it's a 30-foot cone shape, but I've like aiming it so it does, because since Io got knocked back 10 feet, I'm kind of aiming it so it's not hitting him since it's in like a cone shape, and I'm going to use Psionic Blast, and here I will read what it is, but then I will tell you how much power points I'm using on it. Okay, it's the air ripples with force from your mental attack, which blasts the minds of all creatures in range. Psionic Blast stuns all affected creatures for 1 round. The augment is for every 2 additional power points you spend, the duration of the stun effects increases by 1 round.
Okay.
So it is a will save. So I mean, this is just an attempt, just to see if if I can get, like something to stop. Let me see here, and I'm gonna use 4 additional power points on that. So that would be for like 3 rounds if it is, and the sorry, when you just have a whole list of abilities, I have to okay, where was that again?
I have bombs and an axe. I like
Yeah, well, I've got this whole list of things I can do, and I have to read them all at the time and stuff. So it's an 18 will save. So, and I have a feeling that this person has a really high will. So it's a crapshoot. So let's see what happens.
Okay. Your blast goes off, and the creature stands there with holding that bloodied sword up, unaffected.
Yeah, I kind of figured.
Do you make a
and
move
I
action?
What?
Do you make a move action?
Because is his back facing towards me?
Yes.
Okay, I'm not gonna move because since it apparently I don't know. Did he notice that happened?
Didn't even flinch.
Okay, I'm just going to hold my place and then just kind of mutter to myself, just going crap, that didn't work, I'll have to try something different. And then I hold again.
Okay. As Kan's ears are ringing from that sonic blast.
He wasn't in it.
Yeah. No, I'm just saying for flavor text. I'm sure there's sonic sound, and so I'm sure Kan's obviously not affected, but for dramatic flair, his ears are ringing, and it's Kan's turn.
There was a disturbance in the force.
Yeah. Plop, plop, plop. Yeah. I hold my action. Because she still hasn't technically moved. And I just hear her scream. And I don't know if that's her just venting frustration or whatever.
Oh, you saw a cone of
No. But from my words, I'm just hearing her scream.
Ah, got it.
So I don't know if she's truly venting frustration or if she's being hurt.
Okay.
I'm still thinking I've got to be here to semi-protect her.
Okay.
So I'm still in protector mode.
Okay. Io.
Oh, it's my turn? Okay, let's see. Protect your what here? Oh. Okay, well, this is what Io is going to do. Io is going to run up to. Io's going to run up to the bad man again, and he's going to use. First, as a quick action, he is going to invoke the other power of his deity and activate his death devotion, which imbues the power of your weapon with the power of death. So if I succeed with a melee attack, he has to do a fortitude save, and if he loses that, then he gets negative levels and stuff. So, but I'm going to activate that as a quick action, and then I'm going to use my movement to run up to him, and I will use my maneuver disarming strike, which if I make a successful melee attack, then I can also make a disarm attempt without provoking an attack of opportunity, and there's no risk that he can disarm me. So if I make a successful melee attack, I can do that.
Shit.
So let's do a melee attack.
Hey, Chad, don't smash your eyeballs into your skull. You still need those. You were like rubbing your eyes for like I think a like full-on minute.
I've got like puffiness.
Shit.
That it? Yeah, no, maybe.
Your spear illuminates with just the pure shadowy power of the void, and you rush at him, and the elf creature looks at you and begins to smile until he realizes too late what you're doing, as you have the spear pointed directly at him, and right when you get to him, you pivot, and you run your spear into the handle of the sword, and the sword is disarmed and goes flying. The sword is literally goes flying into the air, and it is there is about a 40 feet distance between Kayan and the dude, and it is flies into the air and lands into the ground directly in the middle between Kayan and this guy.
Question.
Answer it.
With the held movement, as soon as I see it flying, can I run?
Yes.
I would like to run.
Okay.
Run, Ken, run!
So it's flying. Are you going to attack the guy or?
No, I'm running. I'm running after or towards the sword.
Oh. Okay. So Io disarms him. You unhold initiative and you go running. And as soon as the sword hits the ground, you reach down and you pick the sword up.
Yeah, I envision myself like as I'm running and I see it flying, I'm putting the axe away, and just as soon as I can get to it, I can arm myself with it.
Yes. So now you are standing pretty much in between Jesse and the dude, and you're 20 feet away from him, and you're holding the sword in your hands, and Io's standing there looking at him with his spear pointed at the individual as he just disarmed him, and you see the creature's eyes get very wide as the flight of dragons continue to approach in.
I'm really gonna go cry now. This guy's amazing.
So on the creature's turn, he turns to Kayan and he just looks at you, and in those 17 languages, he says, I command you to hand over the weapon. Listen, mortal. For whatever reason, Kayan, you feel as if the words are carry the weight of magic. Magic's so powerful, you've never felt it before. It gives you a migraine deep in the back of your temple. But for whatever reason, the power of the words and the spell just wash away as if the rain beating off of your head. It's Jesse's turn. And we'll stop soon. I see that we're running over. So what does Jesse do?
Jesse's thinking. me see here.
The suspense.
Sorry, I'm looking at something here.
Oh, no, you're fine. I was expecting a nice, slow RP session tonight.
Yeah, until someone ran after the fucking dragon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
You expected it, then you ran off into. We could have hunkered down in this building, but no.
The dragon that I said hi to turned out to be the nice dragon. That was the other guy.
And now he's dead.
Well, at least I had a friend for the briefest moment, the last
The briefest
minutes of his life. He had a friend, and now that all these dragon friends are coming, we could have made lots more friends.
Okay. How far away did you say Kayan was from
20
him?
feet.
20, and Io is
40.
40.
Mhm.
40. Okay, he's 40 feet away, and Kayan is 20.
20.
Okay. Because I'm going to. Where is it here? Can I put up can you put up a circle that I can move around that has, oh, where is it? A 20-foot radius on it, so I can like place it, or because I need to know how big the 20-foot radius is on this.
So 20-foot radius, if you put the center of it on Io, would still hit me.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to put the center on Io. I'm trying to place it.
Yeah, it's too big. It would hit both Io and Kayan unless you put it like off to the side just so that you're barely getting the dude in.
Yeah, I don't have to with what I'm looking at. I'm looking at doing Hail of Crystals, which is you can choose to aim this crystal at a single target or at a specific point in space.
Oh, so yeah, aim it at the
So,
target.
yeah, but I'm trying to make, yeah, because this is an AoE thing, and I don't want it to hit them.
Oh.
So I'm not aiming it at that target. I'm aiming it so it hits in like this area that it hits him, but not them two.
Okay, you do this.
Them. Okay. All right. So, okay. Okay, because normally if I aim it at a single target, okay, here, if it was aimed, or here, whether the crystal hits its target, misses, or was aimed at a point in space, it explodes upon arrival at the location you designated. Anyone within 20 feet of the explosion takes 9d4 points of slashing damage from the thousands of crystal shards that spray forth.
Okay.
And here there is a reflex half saving throw.
Okay.
And I'll just
Go ahead and
and I would like to add like let's add like 5 power points to this. So that would increase it by 1d4 for each power point.
Wouldn't a super beefed up like Mind Thrust do more damage though?
Here would have to beat the will save.
Yeah, I guess I was a little bit more worried about the will save than I was about the reflex save.
Does the will save go up when you pump power points into it?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that one does.
So if you beat the fuck out of it, like dumping ridiculous amounts of power points into it, it makes it so the will save is like basically nat 20 or fail.
That's true.
Yes.
All right.
He's
Okay.
hinting at something I've always wanted to see.
Mind Thrust. 100 power points dumped into a Mind Thrust. Get fucked.
Hey, think of it this way. Chris, when you level, Do all of your points get replenished?
Yes.
When you sleep, do your points get replenished?
Yes.
Okay.
If you survive the opportunity to do both of those things,
Well, he already disarmed the sword. That's step one.
Yeah, well, I might as well make an attempt.
This
I've
creature
got
gets
about
this creature gets an automatic 44 on its reflex save. I'm just
oh,
saying. I'm just saying.
okay, okay.
The DM is being nice? What? Thank you.
Yeah, I'm
Send
gonna
you a
take
bottle of wine.
this opportunity and I'm going to run the hell with it. So okay, let's see here.
If the Turusk was standing in the city, I would probably want to fight it.
It would depend on the circumstance.
If he called Ezri a bitch, yeah, we'd be dead.
Oh yeah, it would be.
That's true.
It would be on. I would use every tool in his arsenal and his
Yeah,
friends.
sorry, I'm doing math right now, so just one moment.
And it would be a glorious, glorious fight. That would be over quite quickly. But at least you make it a statement.
I'll go down in a hail of gunfire.
It would be a glorious statement at the bottom of the Turusk is hoof. It's
All right, I've got 80 power points.
Fuck me.
So, because I used some already. So, and this power only uses one at the beginning. So technically that would be like 79. But no, I've got a little more than that. I got another one. So I can do like 80. So then, so that'd be that adds 40 to the DC.
Ladies and gentlemen of the stream, this is what happens when you blow your wad.
Just think our biggest fan is not here to see this live. So disappointing.
Well, you've got to do a lot of damage.
She's actually on, like, I have her on video chat while she's hearing like part of this. She's getting like part of like what's happening. So let's see here. So 40. So that's where'd it go?
Ladies and gentlemen,
So
we're
that's
about
a
to find
58.
out why scions are disgusting.
58. 58 will save.
Okay, it fails. It gets an automatic 44.
Okay.
So this is like an epic like Dragon Ball Z moment where like Goku's like powering up for like 10 minutes and then it just does nothing because the villain's OP.
Well, what I'm imagining is, as Chris is figuring out how much damage she's going to do, like describing the scene, she just like sits there for a long moment and looks at her power ring, and again, much like before, she just melds into like pure green energy, and the rain itself starts to part ways away from her as her aura is just protecting herself so much even from the rain, and the sheer amount of energy in her focus manifests into a green aura appearing around the creature, or the elven humanoid, and you hear him scream out in pain as the damage is decided.
Is there an easier way to do like should I just do like 20 at a time? Because I don't want to sit and right click like 60 times to add dice. So can I just roll 20 each time?
Yeah.
Yeah, because it actually maxes out at how many dice am I holding right now?
What?
I don't know, but it maxes out.
No, it doesn't. There's actually a command. I can't remember what it is, but it's /roll. I know there's a command for it.
There's one. There's 2. Did that one? Yeah, there it landed.
Yeah.
Okay.
Holy fuck.
There's 3. And there's 4. And then also here, because I need to add 1.
And 1 die.
I mean, it's funny that it just was a 1.
Yeah, no, scions aren't balanced. Scions and monks are
I'm
broken.
no light. Go down. No, wait. I gotta play our song now.
So how much damage is that?
What, you want me to do math too?
Brace yourself!
Man, I could just say it lives.
No.
223 damage.
No, that's more than 223
Of course so.
damage.
That's a lot more than 223.
109 plus 116 plus 83
That's more than the entire party's HP combined.
Yeah, 448 damage.
Yup.
Okay. So the creature, like, green aura just surrounds it as you just see like gold fluid start pouring out of its eyes and out of its ears, and it kind of like old school like Swamp Thing's entrance. It kind of like starts like rubbing its eyes and just like screaming and moving back a 5-foot step and forward a 5-foot step, and falls to its knees and just starts screaming, no, 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 and it's screaming this in all of the 14 languages at once. And with that, I still believe there's a held initiative that goes to Kayan.
Can I stab him in the face?
Yes.
Kayan stab him in the face? Yeah,
Yes.
Kayan sees him writhing in pain, takes the sword, running up to it, and I would like to remove his face and his head from the rest of his body.
Oh god, you're gonna coup de grace and
I will coup de grace him and remove his head.
Okay.
Because I have a feeling the dragon people would like to see this man's head when they come towards us. They hopefully our interpreter doesn't suck ass at interpreting.
Oh, I can totally talk dragon to these guys. Don't worry about that.
You're just like fucking Dory speaking whale. That's all I see. You guys,
I gotta clip
we're
this
nice.
shit. So, without even hesitation, Kayan like moves in and goes for the coup de grace, and the sword just cuts through the creature's neck with little to no issue. It's like a hot knife through butter. The creature is beheaded, and as Kayan cuts through, the creature's body falls to the ground, and in the rain, you can see it start dissipating and dissolving into black ashes as the wind starts to blow the ashes away. There's a small little red crystal that's left out of the body after the body blows away to ashes.
I pointed at the ashes and I'm like, hey, look, that looks like the same ashes we saw in the shop.
Well, ashes kind of always look like ashes. I mean, solid ash.
Baladesh. Illinois. And with
I
that,
pick up the
I can't wait to
sparkly
read
gold
this
pen.
recap.
It all turned out for good. That's all I gotta say.
It's
We
ridiculous.
didn't save our dragon friend, but we're gonna make a whole bunch of dragon friends next time. Jester
And is Jester passed out drunk in Watsy?
probably surrounded by like the barmaids.
Yeah, there's
And-
now going to be 15 jesters running around.
15 little jesters running around.
Now that's epic XP. He quite got the most XP out of all of us. Just making the number of babies.
Or soon to be. Oh, well, I mean, he hasn't made the babies yet. I mean, they don't like instantly just like appear.
Maybe, I mean, he's like a warlock. He might have made a dark pact, and there could be like demon babies or something. And they go fast. I mean, have you seen the like the demon babies in Angel in that one episode?
Chad, what's your thoughts on that?
I'm pretty sure it's not an issue.
Are you saying that Jester shoots blanks?
No, he just literally drank till he passed out. Well, technically, he drank till he fell over and passed out, but
Basically, he'll remember nothing about that he's gonna father 15 kids.
Huh?
Just wait till he gets the child support.
What I think is funny is that you said fathered 15 kids and Sif goes, huh?
Can better pay attention to Jester's wills because Can might be having like 30 kids by the time he's done with those boys.
Oh, he probably is.
Oh yeah.
Hey, a couple of the barmaids that Jester's with are probably holding the future ancients of the world.
Well, half ancients, or well, in Can's case, quarter ancients.
Hey, you don't know if I'm not full ancient.
Here, I could be his mom.
Yeah, you don't know my lineage.
He could really be Jehovah's dad, and maybe he's just really confused.
Maybe this is Inception.
Maybe
It's all just a dream.
we're all just inside Can's head.
conception, you said? What?
Contraception? No, that doesn't exist in Can's world.
Well, I mean, if we're all inside Can's head, just what a great team we must be having. So all
When
sorts of
Can thinks of protection, he thinks he's good if he has his sword
Yes.
or his axe.
or his armor. His armor is protected.
Can has protection.
Yes. Well, that was fun. That was quite an entertaining session. Got to speak dragon and made a friend for a few seconds.
I got to yell at you.
And always get to do that though.
No, I don't. I'm not always the one who's like yelling, but it feels like I am.
I'm still amazed that the one time you're not in God mode is the one time I managed to hit you.
Well, you just caught me off guard. I was just chilling in my castle when somebody just attacks me out of the blue.
Oh no, that was not out of the blue. We're not getting into this again because I get really tired of it, but that was not out of the blue.
Totally was out of the blue.
Oh shit.
I mean, sure, I might say things you don't like, but that's just words, and then you resort to physical violence. That's what we call an unproportional response. And since I was such a savvy diplomat, as is evident with this talk with the dragon, maybe I can
I don't hear what you're saying.